Hello, guys. David Vos here, reporting for duty. I have been working around here, haven't done a video kind of sort of thing for a few days. We've been putting up my book, and that's the headline on the last one I did, I think last night. Go and check that out. It's a very interesting story. You're going to have to watch for a few minutes to get into the story and start getting into it. But it's very interesting. Guys, I want to tell you something that's literally more important than anything you've ever heard in your life. Please stay tuned and watch this video. Share it with your friends. And please go to my channel, the other one, on the RUMBLE. Just type in David Vos. Look, find it. Take a little time and find that channel. Watch that video. You really need to see what I posted last night on the old Rumble. But I watched a video today earlier about this thing called Grazon, and it blew my mind, and it started making me realize, wait a minute here. They're saying this herbicide, you spray it on your garden, it's killing the garden. I thought, okay, well, if it's killing the garden, the beans, the potatoes, and the carrots, and whatever, you can't put it on your garden. It'll kill the garden completely for 10 years, at least. Stays in your soil. Well, we're eating the beef. If the cows are pooping and they're using that as manure and it's killing the garden, hold on. We humans go to the store and buy the beef and eat the beef. If it's in their manure, it's got to be getting into their flesh. There's no way possible. So I thought, okay, I can't look up somewhere online whether or not it's safe to eat manure. They're just talking about the manure, like don't put the manure on your garden. But what about the cow? Should you put that in your mouth? Is this thing called GA? Well, I don't know if I want to say it. I'll spell it. Well, no, I'll say it because I don't think that it's one of those words that the algorithms will catch. But it probably will be very soon after this video, maybe, if anybody watches it. But nobody watches my videos anymore because they don't allow anybody to see my videos unless people already know about me. But what would happen? I thought, well, I'm going to look up the Goggle Brothers concept of what would happen if humans got Grazon in their bodies. And here's what it says. The product may cause eye and skin irritation, allergic skin reactions in some individuals. All right. The next one is corrosive, causes irreversible eye damage. Irreversible. Harmful if swallowed. Do not get in eyes or on clothing. See, you can't even touch it. You can't even wear clothes that has been contaminated with Grazon. You can't even use the manure after the cow has eaten the grass that's been sprayed with Grazon. The manure will go on your garden and destroy the garden. Plants can't even withstand it. It is harmful if swallowed. We're not even supposed to get it on our clothing. Now, I didn't look at the article. I'm just reading the headlines because we got too much to look at. So people ask, what are the effects of herbicides on human health? Examples of acute health effects include stinging eyes, rashes, blisters, blindness, nausea, dizziness, diarrhea, and death. Examples of known chronic effects are cancers, birth defects, reproductive harm, immunotoxicity. So it destroys your immunity. Well, now, Dave, if swallowed, it does that. You're just drawing conclusions that don't warrant the conclusion. How is it that you can tell us that it's dangerous if we spray it all over the crops and then we go and eat the cattle that eat the crops, or we eat the crops? There's never been a study, Dave, that says that this is harmful. Why, you're just making this up. Friends, I ain't got time for no studies. I guarantee that if it's killing the plants, biological plants, to put it on there, withering them up, and they won't grow for 10 years, it's gonna kill or hurt or harm you. I believe that. If you don't, well, believe whatever you want, but don't feed me any of that stuff that you're eating. I don't want it. I want the food that is natural. Thank you very much. I'm done with this. I'm done with everything you guys are pushing. I'm not eating your crap ever again. I don't even know. I mean, look, I may have to continue to go to Walmart to get a few things, but there's coming a time very soon, and I imagine they're going to hasten it quite soon when they make you get a mark upon your hand or your forehead. I'm not going back, and I'm preparing now. Friends, if you don't see that we don't need another study, would you believe them anyway? If they said, oh, it's not bad for humans, we can just eat it and we can roll in it. They used to say that about DDT. They used to use that, I don't know, like in the 50s or something, and they would put it in the food, and they're claiming it was, you could rub it all over you, it was not harmful. DDT. It's a pesticide, whatever it is. Why do you call them herbicide? Oh, it's just an herbicide. Well, that means it kills herbs, vegetation, biological growth. Pesticides, they kill the animals. You're putting it all over your house to get rid of these animals, these pesky pets. Maybe we need the animals more than we ever needed them before. Friends, I'm going to be doing some research on why it is that they want us to kill all the puppies. You can't have puppies. We've got to sterilize all the puppies. Well, you can't have dogs because what would you feed them? Well, I've got thousands of coyotes around here. Maybe I should be the shepherd. What are they eating? I don't feed them, and they're all running around. They're not skinny. They just eat stuff laying around the ground. Did you know that if you have a goat and the goat poops, the dogs can eat? Well, look, I'll make another video on that. But it has to do with they are trying whatever they can. Humans are going to get sick and die of cancer, but that'll be, a few years down the road. You won't even notice that you're dying. But what's really going to be going on immediately, because that's what they're trying to do immediately, is they're, depopulation, is your children might not even be born. It might be sterilizing people, or if they are born, they're going to be stillborn or do very much critical harm to the reproduction. But it says it affects neurological and developmental toxicity. So if you're planning on having children, you might end up having developmental problems with the fetus, with the baby. And it disrupts the endocrine system. So you see, that's kind of the thing that people are walking around having all kinds of problems and they don't know why. Your endocrine system is a very important part of your system. Your eyes are important. All the glands, which excrete hormones that give you happiness, well-being, that help you regulate certain functions like growth, hormonal growth, any kind of growth. The toxin grazon put on the plants destroys plants. You say, oh, it's just destroying the weeds and herbs that we don't like. No, it's destroying all the herbs and weeds except the genetically modified ones that they are growing that can't be affected by it because they're not plants. It kills all plants and all living biological things. And they're spraying it. And this is just one of the many different herbicides and poisons and toxins that they're spraying all over the earth. And it will take years and years of letting the ground be fallow before it might recover. This could end up killing all of the different species and living things on the earth, including humans. And it's I think it started in 2007. So we don't even know the effects yet. It says, is Grazon harmful to dogs? One application is complete and the area has been allowed to dry completely. It is safe for pets and people to return to the area. Okay, so it's not safe if you just sprayed it on the ground for your dog to even walk over there. But after it's dried, if you allow it to completely go back into the soil and it's been a while, the dog can walk across the grass and you might not notice any problem. But if that dog eats the grass, up to 10 years, the dog can be very sick. It says, can you spray Grazon on a pasture with cattle in it? Grazon can be sprayed while livestock graze in the same pasture. However, label precautions do apply to forage treated with Grazon herbicide and to manure from animals that have consumed treated forage within the last 3 days. See, you can graze your cattle out there, no problem, right? If you want to. But once they've eaten it, their manure is toxic. And if you put that manure on other plants, they will never grow for 10 years or more. Why are you spraying it on the grass? To kill all the herbs. So the cows may be able to eat the herbs, and the cows may not show any visible effect for a while. You may not notice anything. They only live in a year or 2 or 3 until we butcher them anyway. We'll never know. But all the grass is going to die because that's why you sprayed it, right? So why are you having cattle out there eating grass that you're trying to get rid of with spray? It doesn't make much sense. They're not using the noggin. The cows eat it, and immediately the cow's poop is toxic. Seriously. But now, the cows have some effect that they can literally tell if they've eaten it over the last 3 days. You get the cow away from there, and they don't have any bad effect on the cow. However, the cow still has it in his body. If that Grazon that's in his in the manure is bred on the plant life dies. But it only stays in the cow so that it goes into the manure for like 2 or 3 days. So if you stop feeding the cow herbicides, after 3 days, the cow poops it out, you can go ahead and use the manure again. However, what kind of effect did it have on the cow permanently? The cow may have cancer. Of course, we'll never know because cows die in this country. Within 2 or 3 years, they're dead. They're on your table. You're eating them. Cows don't live beyond 3 years. Cows aren't things that just grow wild. They're rancher property. And they're only out there living to be harvested. So yeah, the cow's not going to poop it out after 3 days. But the cow is going to be permanently damaged biologically. He may have cancer. He's not pooping it out because he's not eating it directly. If you can understand what I'm saying. They're not even studying. They're not doing any research on how this food that's been affected by the Grazon, that's in all of the plants, they're not doing any research on what effect it has long term if we eat the cow. But common sense tells you that it's giving us cancer. It says, can I spray my yard with Grazon? No. You can't spray your yard, but you can spray the hay that you feed to the cows. It's only recommended for use as agricultural herbicide. It kills all the herbs, but not. Why would you then put it on your crops if it kills all the herbs? Isn't crops herbs? Herbs is vegetation. No, they're not. What you buy at the store, all the food, that's not vegetation. That's not herbs. Those are genetically modified, human created. They're not just hybrids. They're created by humans. What is the most toxic herbicide to humans? Paraquat is highly toxic to humans. One small accidental sip can be fatal. There is no antidote. The product labels clearly prohibit pouring paraquat into food or beverage containers with the prominently placed statement, never put into food, drink, or other containers. Now look, if the government or the people who are trying to poison you are telling you that, then I guarantee you do not want to put paraquat in your mouth or touch it or be anywhere near it. So, all right, we're talking about Grazon. Let's take a little looky-see. What is this paraquat? So we wrote in, what is paraquat used for? Sponsored answer here is paraquat compensation form. Well, you see these lawsuits, right? Lawsuit. So what is paraquat? Paraquat is one of the most widely used herbicides. Okay? They use this one more than any other. Maybe Grazon will get to this fame someday too. But paraquat's even worse. And it's widely used in the United States for the control of weeds in many agricultural and non-agricultural settings. Okay, in agricultural settings, on your food, in your cattle. And it's also used as a defoliant on crops, such as cotton, prior to harvest. So cotton is what you use to make clothing. And remember, we already said that if anything's got Grazon on it, you don't want to touch it or even touch the clothing that it's on. And people ask, is paraquat and Roundup the same thing? To be clear, there is no paraquat in Roundup and no Roundup, glyphosate in paraquat. But both herbicides share similarities. Both paraquat and Roundup are enormously powerful and effective herbicides. Both paraquat and Roundup are widely used in the United States. Well, you've heard about Roundup. People are dying. There's lawsuits on that. Friends, we could go down the list of all of these things that's in your food. We're not paying any attention. Well, I ate it. It didn't bother me. Well, yeah, but now you can't sleep at night. You have no immunity. You've got cancer. Oh, well, it's a parasite. It's a pandemic. It must be some kind of... No, it's the food we're eating. Don't eat it. You got to grow your own food. You got to have your own chickens. I've decided I can't eat the meat from the store anymore. I can't feed Purina dog food, any of the dog food or the store-bought things to my dogs. I have to make rice for them, made for human consumption. I have to make sure it wasn't contaminated. This is insane, friends. What crops are paraquat used on? Paraquat is used on around 7 million acres of agriculture every year in the United States. It is mostly used on agricultural land in California and other states in the West, which grow potatoes. Now I know why potatoes are making me sick. I thought it was the carbs. A natural potato probably won't hurt you, but potatoes that you get at the store will. And you probably don't even notice why a lot of people they don't feel good. They don't know why. They don't see the connection between what they ate. I ate a potato just the other day thinking, well, one won't hurt me once in a while. I got really sick, but you see, when I was younger, I used to feel bad after, whatever, didn't know why, just thought it was normal, had back trouble all my life. My hair's falling out. People, oh, well, that's all normal. Guys, recently, you may have heard me say, I've gotten rid of all sugar, carbohydrates. At least I never eat high glycemic carbohydrates like potatoes. I'll eat a sweet potato. And I can eat broccoli and cauliflower, beans and things like that. Now, about beans and nuts, as I've said, they don't have much sugar. It's a oil-based food. But all these hybrid foods, bananas, apples, I've gotten away from all of that because there's too much sugar. And of course, I knew that if you had the whole food with the fiber, it wouldn't be so bad. But yet some of these things like apples and potatoes and stuff that I was eating did make me feel bad. The bananas. And you think about where we get our bananas. They're coming in green. They spray them down with pesticides before they even bring it, like to preserve them and all this stuff all over. Look, I don't even want to go into it. I don't think it's the banana that's hurting me, or the potato, if you know what I mean. But it's also beets, cotton, grapes. You're drinking wine from the store. You go to the store and you get berries. Oh, these are healthy, these berries, right? No, think again. And other crops which need a lot of weed control. What does paraquat do to humans? After a person ingests a large amount of paraquat, he or she is immediately likely to have pain and swelling of the mouth and throat. So you see, if you just eat a little bit of the residue in your plants, that's right, it's in the plant. If the cow eats it, he's affected. But it doesn't just like kill you right away, but it probably makes you sick and you don't even know why you're sick. Everybody's running around with this big pen, DIMIC, and they think, oh, it's because of some PARSITE that nobody can see, or they claim maybe it was invented in an LAB. But I wonder if there's anything at all going on other than the poisons that they're literally inventing from Project Paperclip that's been going on in this country since after World War II. So after your mouth swells up in your throat, the next sign of illness following ingestion are gastrointestinal symptoms, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. Well, that ain't good. What foods are sprayed with paraquat? Commercial farmers and other agricultural workers in the United States have been using paraquat to control invasive weeds and grasses since 1964. Applicators spray it on commercial crops such as corn, soy, and cotton. Okay, you see, the reason they spray it on corn, soy, and cotton because those are all genetically modified or created by humans. They're not affected. However, you go and you eat corn, which is in every product at the store. Corn syrup is in your baby formula. That's the main ingredient. And you're giving it to the baby the moment it's born, and you're wondering why there is an epidemic in the world. Soy and cotton. The corn, soy is in all of the food. And potatoes, as we've seen already. What brand name products contain paraquat? Commonly sold under the trade name Gramoxine, but the herbicide is also sold under many different names such as Parazone, Parashot, Quitquat. Is it the same as Agent Orange? Huh? You mean that stuff we sprayed over there in Nam? Well, answer and explanation. Paraquat was not used in Agent Orange. Agent Orange was a mixture created from equal parts of two herbicides created by Monsanto. Really? Agent Orange was created... Hold on. Paraquat was not used in Agent Orange. Agent Orange was a mixture. So what is Agent Orange that we dropped on Hiroshima? No. Freudian slip there. We dropped on Nam. Agent Orange was made by Monsanto. It's the same stuff that you put on your garden. It's an herbicide. These chemicals were 2,4-diocryptoic acid and the . So now you know they're dropping Agent Orange on all of us. We're eating it. We're breathing it. It's in our clothes. And there's almost no way out, friends. And therefore, Jesus must come very soon, or the entire planet will die. You understand, since 2007, this has been going on. And I'm sure since 1960s, as we've already seen, or after World War II, they started going. But it took a while to get it in all the soil, and all your agriculture, and all your cows, and all your chickens. We're at that point of saturation. We're done. This earth is gone. And as the Apostle Peter says, the entire earth will have to be burned up. And it will lie fallow, the ground, until it can get back to its original place. It's used on golf courses. Does Monsanto use paraquat? The answer is no. There are two separate products using different chemicals to kill weeds. Monsanto's Roundup does not contain paraquat. Okay, we already heard that. But they also said it's the same thing. And it doesn't matter. Whatever. There's hundreds of different kinds of chemicals that they're using all over in the food. Not to mention that you go and you get cereal and it's got BHT. You cannot find any food anywhere, beans in a can. I don't even know what we're going to do, friends. I'm living out here and I'm going to be able to raise my own chickens. I'll have my own eggs and my own chickens. However, what do you feed the chickens? Thank goodness my chickens eat natural grains and grasses and bugs and things that are just all over out here. I have found that you can use rice. Yeah, maybe the rice has it in it too. I have to do some research on that. I just thought of that the other day. I thought, well, why can't I feed them? Rice is cheap. You can get 20 pounds of rice for like $11 at Walmart. And then I'm feed that to my dogs now rather than any kind of dog food because the dog food's killing them. But now I've got to investigate whether or not it's safe to even buy rice and beans and stuff, stuff in the market. Anyway, we could go on and on and on. This is what chemicals did they use in Vietnam War? Let's take a look at that real quick. By far the most widely used herbicide was Agent Orange. It's an herbicide. Okay, think about this. They dropped an herbicide all over the ground. Oh my goodness, Agent Orange. Yeah, they're dropping it all over the ground here in the United States and you're eating it. And you think it's wonderful. Just enough not to kill you right away. You won't even know that it's what's happening, right? But your children are born deformed. And there's a pandemic going on and we're like, we don't know why this is happening. Oh. Friends, I'm out. Tell your friends. Tell your family. And here's the answer. Here's the answer. I was thinking about this the other day. Yesterday, actually, I was thinking about this. I thought about making a video. And I think I might. But the problem is it won't go viral. Nobody will see it. And so I'm stuck with all I have is to tell my friends. Because the only people that watch my videos are my friends. I've got a lot of friends. 1,000 to 1,500 people a day watch. All my friends. And once in a great while, a friend will tell a friend and they'll watch. But I can't get this information out. Will you please help me? For one thing, please go to my Rumble. I put a video out last night or yesterday. Everybody must watch that video. It saddens me greatly that only a few hundred people will end up watching that video. And it's not my video. I'm just showing you what, clips of what everybody else is showing you. But I think in that particular video, it puts it all into perspective in a way in which you are just not being allowed to know. You must know. You must tell your children. You must tell your family. Even your enemies. Friends, we've got to know. Please go to Rumble. All of you. David Vos. Find it. Please. But anyway, back to reality here. Well, no, we were in reality, but let's get back to talking about this reality that nobody knows is reality. Please tell your friends about this video and my channel, please. Not because I need money or anything like that. This has nothing to do with money or anything. I'm literally begging you to help yourself. To learn what I'm telling you, look it up and go and tell your friends. And please get the word out. Some way or another. Use my videos to share with people, or make your own videos, or just tell people. But do it as much as possible. It's very simple to just click and share my videos. And if it's that important, maybe you should share them with everyone you know. at least this particular video, for one. But what is it I want to share today? Well, first of all, as you and I know, the only thing we're going to be able to do here is wait for the Lord Jesus. It's beyond anything we can do anymore. But we're also going to have to understand it's no longer just an option. It is mandatory that we get out of the city now and that you start getting some of your own chickens. Look, if you have to live in a cave or a simple lean-to or a shelter, friends, you'll be happier. Get out of the world. I am telling you now. Do it now. Or your children are going to be born deformed. You're going to be sick. But don't worry. Hey, good news. Jesus is coming back soon. So, I don't think you're going to be having any children anyway. But as you suffer and are tortured for the next several years, you might survive until Jesus comes. Because it's only a little bit of Agent Orange in your food, right? It'll just give you a miserable, torturable existence. But you might make it. You might survive if you don't go to the DOCTOR. You might be able to survive if you start detoxing and do something else or switching it up or reading on this or trying to figure out what to do. But if you don't do nothing, you're going to perish. But what I had thought to do is make a video, if I could make it viral. Now, I can't do it because my videos won't go viral anymore. They just won't let them. But if any of you have the ability, I have a suggestion. Sit in front of your camera, put a serious face on, because it's very serious, and look into the camera and say, listen, we're done. We're going to stand up. I no longer want to be friends with anyone who thinks it's okay to go and vote for Biden or any of these politicians. I no longer am friends. I'm making a stand. I'm not going to pussyfoot around. I'm not going to say, well, you just do what you want and I'll do what I want. They won't let us do what we want, if that's what you think. They're pushing this down our throat now to the point where they made a law now in California, I think it is. It's just passed, I believe. Don't quote me. I don't know if it's passing or it's just passed. It will be a felony if you have a child in your classroom and that child is a boy and says, I think I'm a girl, and you don't give them chemical mutilation and if you don't, rush that kid to the doctor and have him changed from a boy to a girl, you will have a felony. If you're a parent and you don't allow your kids to believe what they want to believe, because they've been sent to school. In other words, if you send your kids to school, you're going to lose your children. And you will probably go to prison for the rest of your life or just have a felony on your record. You understand what I'm saying? So at this point, even if it's not going to do any good, Jesus is coming. We can't stop the devil. He's coming too. Okay, we're done. We can't stop it. But what we can do is warn the people. Friends, I am telling you. What do you think? You're a prophet, Dave? Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now in name of Jesus. Take it any way you want. Jesus will be here before 2030. No, I don't know. Could it go to 2032? I don't think it will go any beyond 2030. I think it might even be much sooner than that. We have literally no time. I tell you in the name of Jesus, if you don't start getting ready now and preparing and taking this seriously, you're not going to get through this. You're not going to get through this. And you're going to have to take a stand. If you don't take a stand, you're hurting your children. If you don't stand up in front of your children against these people, in front of your friends against these people, say, you're no longer my friend. No, I'm not going to tolerate it. No, I'm not going to go, hee, oh, they're transgender. Ha, 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 this is funny. That's just what they want. It's to each his own. No. Right now, you stand up. You make a video. If we all do it, we can start. You know how they make these videos, they go viral, everybody's pouring water on somebody's head and then the other guy's got to do it too. Okay, that's child's play. It's stupid. I'll tell you what you need to do. And this is the first one. Hopefully it'll go viral, but I guarantee it won't. But maybe yours will. You get on there, you put your little sweet smiling face on there, and you, of course, you look real serious because this is very serious, and you say, I'm done. I'm not tolerating you anymore. If you're going to come into my life or onto my television and tell me some kind of idiotic, stupid thing about, is your child really a boy when he's, huh? I'm done. I'm clicking it off. If you spout that kind of nonsense, you're not my friend. Will I help you if I see you along the road sick? Yes. I love you. I love you with all my heart. That's why I've got to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. But if I thought you were a murderer, would I let you into my home with my children? No. Well, you are a murderer if you're spouting these evil nonsense. And therefore, I can't allow you into my home around my children anymore. If you want help, I will help you. I will share the gospel with you. I will feed you if you're dying or you're starving. I will bandage your wounds if I find you along the road. I am a good Samaritan because that's what Jesus told me to be. But Jesus would not have tolerated this evil message. He would have spoken out against it. He told the Pharisees they were hypocrites. He went into the temple and overturned their tables. He made a stand. And Paul, the apostle, made a stand right there in front of the high priest. And if we don't make a stand now, then, okay, then what? Well, it's going to happen anyway, Dave. We're all going to die, so just go with it. No. Because this is now where the rubber meets the road. If we don't make a decision, that's what a judgment is, to make a decision. We need to make a decision now. I'm going to go ahead and go help. We have a wonderful evening. May the Lord bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.